Let's take a look at how the TinyProf Abacus can help your child learn about division. Keep in mind that this is just a quick overview since all the details are in the full tutorials. For example, let's take 21 divided by 3. Just to refresh your basic math terms, 21 is what's known as the dividend, 3 is called the divisor, and the answer is known as the quotient and remainder. So, to use the abacus to divide 21 by 3, you enter the dividend, which in this case is 21, and press divided by, just like a calculator. Then enter the divisor, 3. The abacus will show what you entered on the bottom, 21 divided by 3. Then press equals. The abacus illustrates the concept of division by first showing the quotient q as equal to 0 and the remainder r as equal to 21. When your child pulls down the correct bead, in this case 7, the frame of the abacus will turn blue, and then it will show you how to calculate the remainder. In this case, when you subtract 21 from 21, you get 0, so the remainder is 0. 21 divided by 3 equals 7, with a remainder of 0. Great job! You'll notice this works for very large numbers as well. One of the advantages of the TinyProf Abacus is that it makes working with lots of zeros simple for your child. For example, take 48,000 divided by 80. Enter 48,000, press divided by, press 80, press equals. The abacus begins by showing q is 0 and r is 48,000. Let's work out the quotient. If we take the first 3 digits of r, namely 480, and divide them by 80, the answer is a number from 1 to 9. This is what's known as a tiny division. 480 divided by 80 equals? When your child presses 6, the abacus turns blue and lets you work out the remainder. R minus 600 times 80 equals? Subtract 48 from r, you get 0. Great! So you see, the answer to the problem of 48,000 divided by 80 is 600. Let's try another example. 101 divided by 12. Enter 101, press divided by, enter 12, press equals. The abacus sets q to 0 and r to 101. Let's work on q. 101 divided by 12 equals, press 8. Let's look at the remainder. 101 minus 8 times 12 equals? This requires your child to do a long multiplication. Multiplication is covered in more depth in the tutorial on multiplication. But for this example, let's assume your child is already on their way to becoming a tiny professor. The abacus helps your child break down long multiplication into a series of single-digit multiplications. 101 minus 8 times 2 equals? Take 16 and subtract it from r. r is now equal to 85. 85 minus 8 times 10 equals? Subtract 80 from 85 and you get 5. Now we're done with the long multiplication and back at the abacus showing us q. The answer, q, is 8, and there's a remainder of 5. Let's try this with long division. Enter 3,664,912, and let's divide it by 453. Don't worry, your child will have no problem doing this after a little while learning with the TinyProf Abacus. Press equals. Take the first 4 digits, 3,664, and divide that by 453. The answer is a number from 1 to 9, a tiny division, in this case 8. When your child begins to work out the remainder, they would start by subtracting 8,000 times 453. This is a long multiplication. r minus 8,000 times 3 equals? Subtract 24 from r. r minus 8,000 times 50 equals? Subtract 40 from r. r minus 8,000 times 400 equals? Subtract 32 from r. Now your child is done with the long multiplication. This brings us back to the abacus for q. Working on q again, take the first 4 digits of r, namely 4,091. 4,091 divided by 453 is a tiny division. Enter 9. We're back at the abacus for r. r minus 90 times 453 equals, hold it, another long multiplication, right? r minus 90 times 3. Subtract 27 from r. r minus 90 times 50. Subtract 45 from r. r minus 90 times 400. Subtract 36 from r. Done with the long multiplication. Back at the quotient. The quotient q equals 8090, and the remainder r equals 142. Great job getting through some pretty big numbers. As you saw, figuring out numbers this size takes 2 cycles. To really understand how your child will be able to figure out how to handle division with large numbers like this quickly and easily, take a look at our tutorial on division.